you're a sky, 'cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you...
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the pre-recorded speech section of our virtual showcase of Michaelhouse public speaking and debating, and more specifically, the prepared speech category. This prepared speech is done in the form of a persuasive speech, and what a persuasive speech is a speech varying in length of about 10 minutes of a topic chosen by the speaker. The goal of a persuasive speech is to convince or persuade the audience of an issue existing in the world, or an issue that could possibly exist in the future, and furthermore, a possible solution to said issue, unless stated for good reason why there is no current solution. The issue or topic chosen is up to the speaker, but obviously needs to be kept within the realms of a realistic problem, so no speeches about the zombie apocalypse. The speech usually entails a composition of rhetoric, tone, style, along with facts and reasoning to drive home its convincing nature to the audience. And without further ado, I would like to welcome Tapiwa Chikwanda to deliver his persuasive speech.
UNESCO Council members, I am Tapiwa Chikwanda. Of all the dilemmas in classical philosophy, the most notorious perhaps is the trolley problem. As a runaway train hurtles towards 5 captives on the main track, should the philosopher switch the tracks by the pull of a lever and save these 5 if it ensures the death of 1 captive on the other track? The answers to this quandary lay deep within the fault lines of ethical paradigms. So UNESCO, allow me briefly to lead us on a journey. One which will reveal how the human rights to freedom of expression, specifically as it relates to editorial cartoons, can help us unearth an answer. Facetious as it may sound, our contention today resembles an onion. Lest our tears blur our vision, we need to deal with one layer at a time. Since their 18th century inception, political cartoons have broadened the channels through which journalism flows. Owing to their adjacent position in reportage, such cartoons offer coverage to otherwise unfeatured matters and perspectives on matters alike. And as the researcher Samuel Matthias notes, their visual nature engages the senses and the frames of understanding which narrowly fall out of written journalism's domain. If news articles are analytical prose, editorial cartoons are satirical poems, complementing textual reporting in such a way that, should their censorship rise by any degree, the damage would contaminate journalism at large. The pictures do indeed tell 1,000 words. Words inextricably tied to the press, and thus words entitled to the freedom of the press. In the interest of time, my exploration of these rights confines itself to the First Amendment of the United States. Despite their patron toddler, however, this comes at little expense. For if America sneezes, or should I say censors, the world catches a cold of redaction. As the rights stand, citizens of a nation are unshackled in their seeking, receiving, and imparting of information, with 2 crucial caveats. 1, that the rights do not extend to libel or to the advocacy of imminent danger. And 2, that the right only bars a government's press. I stand for the current limitations to these rights, and along with a decent slice of the populace, will tolerate neither their undermining nor the consequences thereof. An unsavory cartoon, however much it exercises the rights in question, is still subject to private decision, to private discretion, and to private decency. A publisher is equally at liberty to reject a sketch, while a cartoonist might his or herself decide against submitting the sketch in the first place. Continued freedom will not spread or even encourage rampant misinformation and slander. Even if not to risk paying damages for libel, cartoonists are free to self-censor as protection of their dignity and that of others. To preserve democracy and to strengthen peace, a people must be able to challenge authority and have their own beliefs tested instead of blindly complying. See, public discourse tends to follow the dialectic. From the conflict between a thesis and an antithesis, a synthesis emerges. As this case from last year shows, the same holds for cartoons. Thesis. This rather indelicate clipping from the Pulitzer Prize-winning cartoonist Steve Breen. Antithesis. The racial outcry which marked this cartoon as 2019's 6th most controversial. In synthesis, Steve Breen's now adapted submissions process, which considers a diverse range of opinions and criticism before committing to potential distaste. So, this one example shows the maturity that one cartoon could bring to one man. And all of this happened without a government sticking in its meddling hands. Why stop there? This growth only compounds as cartoons proliferate in society. Cartoons undergird such dialectics, so weakening them precludes the birth of societal synthesis. There is, of course, the sporadic case of controversy becoming a calamity. The Charlie Hebdo shooting of 2015 saw how terrorists retaliated their offense by way of a massacre. That 12 people were martyred for free expression was and still is intensely shocking. However, such a tragedy is only a rarity. Now, to tighten censorship's clasp, to supposedly protect the cartoonist, how many lives must one stifle? How much knowledge must one seize from the people? See, the subjective nature of further restricting free press severs citizens from their autonomy. Until there's some reliably empowering way to silence a nation, until there's someone who deserves control on what the world reads, sees, and learns from editorial cartoons, I urge you not to squander this freedom. UNESCO, thank you for allowing the combined exercise of my human right to impart and of yours to seek and receive. There's no right without responsibility, and there's no freedom to develop without the freedom to be offended. Our journey today has brought us to a new trolley, this one with journalism at the helm. Yet, the trolley here is already heading for the single captive. Will you surrender one captive and keep cartoonists heard? Will you surrender 5 and pull the lever of censorship?